Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with Hannah Burr. Good evening, Hannah.
Good evening. How are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Doing
Doing
well.
well?
Doing
Yeah.
well. Sure. Sure.
We are here in between the last two episodes of Ahsoka. So we're going to talk a lot about part 7 on this episode as we get ready for the finale coming next week. Already the finale. And who knows when we're going to get some new Star Wars.
Hopefully
But
sooner
as
rather
part
than
of the good news is the writer strike is coming to an end.
I'm so glad they're getting what they need, or there's at least some sort of compromise, or they deserve a lot more than what they were getting.
No,
They do.
100% agree. Lots of, just like always, there's new avenues of revenue, and they need to be compensated for all those new avenues. And the actors are trying to get the same thing. That strike is still, unfortunately, going on for a little while longer. The news is that it should be over before the end of the year, which hopefully they can get that wrapped, because we are in need of some more Star Wars content, especially the movies that are apparently starting to get into development and shooting into 2024. But hopefully this means that we're going to get Skeleton Crew, we're going to get the Acolyte here soon. That's the plan, hopefully, right? So that's good news there. The only other news that that kind of came out this past week was apparently Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal Kestis in the Star Wars Jedi series video games. He has come out and talked about, he was at a con last week or the week before, and he was talking about how he's already in development and talking about doing in talks and works of doing a third Star Wars Jedi video game. So fantastic.
That would be great.
Of course you knew when they were going to make a second one, they're going to make a third one.
Because 3 is a magic number.
3 is the magic number. In fact, this is one of the things where you actually can probably make 4, 5, 6, 7. You can actually keep going with this thing.
You really could.
Yeah, depending on if they try to wrap up some kind of storyline in the third one. But it's the second game was just really, really incredible, the storyline that went there. And I don't think we've done that yet, right? We didn't talk about that. I don't think so. I think we did Battle Scars, which was the book.
We did. Oh, we need to do that.
Because you watched all the cutscenes, right?
I did.
So you know the story.
I do.
I read,
because I don't have a PS5.
Yeah, I played the whole game. So yeah, so we need to talk about that. We'll talk about that. We'll have something to talk about, obviously, when Ahsoka ends. So yeah, we can do that then. But third game should be coming.
And we may have a reason to talk about it, which we'll get to later in this episode.
Yes. And that's the thing is the games, it's going to be incredible over the next couple of years, because you've got obviously possibly this third game, but you got Star Wars Outlaws coming out next year, which is a big open world game. And then the Star Wars Eclipse that we talked about last episode, that's got a lot of potential. And you were excited once I told you who that studio was that's making that. So
I told my husband that, and he was like, oh, and I'm like, I know.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. So
and then I don't know if you saw this news-wise, but once again, something I saw fleetingly, so haven't had a chance to research it, so this is a rumor, we'll call it a rumor, that, blanking out on her name, but the young lady who played Ahsoka, young Ahsoka.
Yes.
In Ahsoka, she apparently was talking to Hayden Christensen about a live-action Clone Wars.
Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff about that.
It's not verified, but wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, it's definitely something I think they would do, and I think they would do. I mean, they as in, um, and of course her name escapes me also, but I think her last name's Greenblatt.
Yeah.
Ariana Greenblatt? Is that
I think it
think
is
that's right?
Ariana.
Yeah. So she and Hayden, I know they both would do them. They would do it for sure. But there was a post I saw a post. So people were freaking out. I mean, it was one of those like, news sites that people go to. I think it's a lot of them. A lot of it they do false
Yeah.
articles just to get clicks. But it got people going because it said Filoni's next. Filoni's doing a Clone Wars movie with
Oh,
Anakin, and they went as far as saying Filoni, and I was like, come on, there's
wow.
no way he's gonna. Look. I think that it would be very, very popular, and who knows? Maybe they will do something like that. But it'd be very difficult with what he's doing with Ahsoka, and he's got a planned movie already that's in an announcement. They're still working on Mandalorian and all this stuff. So
If anything, I feel like it would be almost a Tales of a Jedi type of thing, only live action. Or it'd be like a
correct.
highlight thing. It would be a
That's
short
true.
thing. It wouldn't be, hey, we're going to redo every single Clone Wars episode.
No, you're
But
right. No, well, it would be. Honestly, I think it would be incredible. Actually, man, in fact, I just thought of this. You could do, like you just said, you can do Tales of the Jedi versions or shorter versions of the arcs that we never got in the Clone Wars in animation, right? You just do those in live action.
there you go. Problem solved.
There you go. Yeah.
You're
And
welcome.
one of them was, which I really wanted to watch, was the Anakin and Ahsoka exploring underneath the Jedi Temple on Coruscant.
You're welcome,
Because
Filoni.
because there's a Sith temple under there, right? So
Yeah.
that would be pretty incredible. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, there is sorry. Rise of the Red Blade references that. And I completely
Yes,
forgot
okay.
that there was a whole thing with the Clone Wars of how they were going to do that. So,
Yes.
oh,
No, anyway, I think it'd be incredible. There's some artwork out there, like a poster for that movie. It's got Anakin on it. It's got Ahsoka, R2. Yeah.
once
So,
again, though, not confirmed, but it's wishful thinking.
well, it's definitely something I'm definitely think fans want to see for sure. I don't think anybody would say that they wouldn't want that.
Yeah, Ariana Greenblatt did a great job.
Yes, phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. And okay, so moving on to Ahsoka, Part 7, called Dreams and Madness. All right, we did a reaction video, of course, for our patrons the other day. Now we're talking about, even more about this episode here. First up, of course, we go back to the galaxy we left in the last episode, and Hera's got this Senate hearing now. I'll say that the first thing about this, the first question that came up to me about this is, and I was trying to read into it a little bit beyond the episode to kind of find out, but I'm curious. It doesn't seem like, based on what, I guess this could be its own meeting, but we still haven't necessarily seen like the full Senate. Have they brought, I wonder if that is even brought back. Is the full Senate actually brought back in the New Republic? Because I'm trying to think of Bloodline. I'm sure there was a Senate then, I guess. I have a hard time remembering about that right now.
I swear there was in Bloodline. But yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's because it's a manner that's not privy to the entire galaxy. And, maybe that's how everybody was able to be governed over by a single body, because they were like, okay, if it's a huge galaxy thing, then bring it to the main Senate floor. If it's more of a, your own division or a military thing, then it needs to be a smaller court. That's the only thing I can think of, because, like, yes, what Hera did was technically against military orders. It's not enough to bring her before the entire galaxy Senate, Or at least I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. So this is probably just a small, like, committee hearing, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's
Is that
probably
what you're
more like a
kinda...
small military type of thing versus.
Oh, right.
I mean, that's my own opinion. That's why that thought never actually crossed my mind of what.
Yeah.
Of why.
It just seems like in the past, in like the prequel trilogy, whenever we did see the Senate, or even during the Clone Wars, it seemed like every issue that was brought up in the Senate.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, we were always there. That everybody had an opinion, everybody had a vote. But I get, but I'm not sure about military issues, because you're right. This being a military issue, it might not be the same. So, but I'm curious, because I'd like to see the state of the Senate right now. Especially if Mothma, it'd be good to see Mothma presiding over that and seeing that. So I did want to see that, but so what were your how'd you feel about 3PO being brought into this?
Oh, I thought it was cute. I was like, oh, yeah. 3PO. Oh, Senator Leia Organa.
Did you think we were going to get her in this? No? Okay.
No.
I did. I actually briefly thought.
Oh, really?
That maybe we're going to get, I thought at least a hologram. Because when he said Leia wants to say something, I actually did think there was going to be a hologram of her.
Help me, Mom Mothma. You're my only hope.
Right. Yeah. So obviously we didn't get that.
No.
But I definitely was thinking that something like that was going to be coming. I think that probably would have pushed the limit too much there.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, I don't know if you noticed this, but the one thing, because Hera's got a different headgear on, and my daughter watching it goes, wait a minute, are those her ears? Because Twi'leks have these kind of like, they have these like mounds, kind of right there, and she normally has goggles over it, so, or headgear. So I was like, yeah, no, she's a Twi'lek. That's
those are her ears. Muka Shakabaka.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Republicans.
But good to see Mothma live action,
instead
of a hologram. So I love seeing her.
And I think it's important to note that Genevieve is such a great actress. She's phenomenal. You can tell she wants to support Hera. She wants to make sure Hera doesn't get punished for what she did, because she believes Hera. She thinks what Hera did was right. But she, like, you see in her eyes and in her body language that internal struggle of, you're my friend, I believe you, but I can't, because I can't let the New Republic think that I'm biased in any way. And it sucks. But she did a great job conveying that.
Right. Yeah. It is just amazing to think about her, Genevieve, that is, like, playing this character in completely two different eras.
Oh.
You know what I mean? In Andor, like, she's got to play such a mysterious character, because she can't be discovered, and she's doing all this illegal activity to the Empire, in a way, illegal. But then now she's in a position where she's the head of the entire galaxy. And I'm so glad that she has embraced this character and loves playing this character, because I love seeing her. I love seeing Mothma. I think she's such one of those. I will always say she's one of those characters for so long that we all knew who she was, but we never knew anything about her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she's one of the most important characters in the whole history of this conflict.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anyway, so that was pretty great. And then, of course, for me, the next great piece was the Anakin cameo again.
Just give me more Hayden Christensen, please.
Yeah, I know, right?
I totally he was one of my celebrity crushes in middle school.
BT Dubs. Really?
Oh, BT Dubs, he was.
Wait a minute. Okay, it's taken a while for you to admit that on this show. That's interesting.
I thought I mentioned that before, but okay.
I don't think so. I don't know.
But in all seriousness, even though there's been a lot of time that's gone by, he still knows how to embrace that character. It's like it's a second nature to him. I mean, any chance we get more Anakin from Hayden, let's take it.
Yes, agreed. And I think he's up for doing. Obviously he's getting older. He's definitely getting older, so it's going to be hard to keep playing him that young. But he's still in great shape. It looks like he can definitely wield the lightsaber still.
Mm-hmm.
But even as Darth Vader, though, I mean, if we can do more Darth Vader with him, that's fine too.
I'd be happy with that.
Just knowing he's still playing Anakin is great. But no, I thought this was really good, and I think it's just great to, again, it's just great to know that Ahsoka still, how you say it, accepts Anakin in a sense. I mean, she knows obviously what he has become,
mm-hmm.
and the whole Vader issue, and we don't know really what has been shared yet with with Luke. In the conversations she's had with Luke, if they've talked about Anakin at all. But
actually, that brings up a very interesting point, because we know for a fact that this series takes place after Mandalorian season 3.
We do know that now for sure. Yes,
we know that now for sure. So is it fair to say, because Ahsoka does have that one line with Luke where she says, "You remind me so much of your father."
I know.
So
yes.
Doesn't that hint that Luke told her that he did go back to the light side?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so.
I think, yeah. So I think,
hopefully she does know that story. Yeah, would.
Yeah.
It'd be disappointing if she didn't.
It'd be very disappointing, and I don't think she would be of accepting as her master, or even would have listened to her master in the last episode as much as she did if he didn't turn from the dark side. So I think
right.
I think it is safe to assume that she does know that Anakin came back.
Yeah, agreed. No, I think you're right. So hence what you're saying is that having him around like this makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. She's finally come to peace about the whole thing.
Right. No, that's good. But you're, another thing that you said, which was a very good point, was, Hayden. Man, I love Matt Lanter and what he did, voicing him in the Clone Wars.
He did a great job.
But Hayden is Anakin Skywalker.
He is,
and it's crazy just to see him like this, especially, Filoni being attention to detail, adding this armor on him, which again, we haven't seen this in live action like this since Ahsoka. But man, you fully feel he understands and lived through what we saw in the Clone Wars. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's there. It's there in his acting and in his face and in his reaction. Like, you can see that that just goes to show you how big of a fan Hayden is, and he's watched those episodes. He knows where Anakin has come from, what he's been through. It's clearly in his performance, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know we were talking beforehand. I was telling you, what he was saying in that training simulation, it sounded very familiar. I wonder if he said something similar in Tales of the Jedi when Ahsoka was training, against the clones versus robots. And you said, oh, no. He said that in in the trailer for Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, so full circle.
But you're right. He did say similar things like that in Tales of Jedi when he was talking about, I'm training you to survive.
Yep.
And stuff like that. Like he's definitely. But that's the thing is it's so, and again I keep bringing up my daughter because she's kind of living this out for the first time, which is great to see.
I was about to say that must be an amazing experience as a father regarding that.
Yeah, because I went up in her room the other day and she's just sitting there watching Clone Wars episodes, and we started watching because I showed her before that episode before the last episode with Anakin.
Yes.
Part 5. Before part 5, I put in just the beginning of the Clone Wars movie, the introduction of Ahsoka. Like she had never seen it before. Her walking off the ship and meeting Anakin and Obi-Wan for the first time. Like she's like, oh my gosh, that's the first time she gets. I was like, yeah, that's 15 years ago. That's the first time she was introduced to us in Star Wars. And so she eventually watched the whole movie, and then now she's watching the episodes. But that's what I'm getting at is that she's now going to experience, because she's watched Ahsoka, right? So she gets that Anakin had trained Ahsoka, especially now seeing those flashback episodes. She understands that they were part of the Clone Wars together. But now as she starts watching it, she will start to really see the relationship and how much history they have and how much, again, it's hard to believe that we had the whole trilogy of Darth Vader and his redemption. And then we had the whole prequel trilogy of Anakin's fall, and all that stuff. Not ever knowing that he spent 3 years training this Padawan, which ended up changing our full perception of Anakin, in my opinion. Like full transformation from what we thought about him in the prequels to what he is now in our minds, because the fact that he had an apprentice. Now, in my opinion, that is brilliant storytelling from George and Filoni. And now, every time you think of Ahsoka, you think of Anakin Skywalker.
Absolutely.
I think that is incredible.
It's absolutely mind-blowing because I even remember when the Clone Wars movie was first teased. And it was like, oh, Anakin has a Padawan. I remember thinking, that's dumb. Why would you do that? Like, that ruins all of your continuity. That ruins everything.
Yes,
and, obviously
yes.
Now I put my foot in my mouth. Like, I totally regret ever saying that. But, like, did you have a similar reaction? Like,
no, I think the entire Star Wars fandom had that reaction. I think that's why Ahsoka, it took so long for people to grasp the idea of Ahsoka.
See, though, but that's the really weird thing is that, like, I thought, oh, Anakin having a Padawan, that's stupid. But then when I saw my first, because I didn't see the movie until after watching the Clone Wars TV show. I remember I don't even remember what the episode was. It was some random episode. And within the first 5 minutes of meeting Ahsoka, I'm like, I adore her. I see now why she's a part of the series. Like, I know other people, it took them a while to get used to her. But for me, first time I saw her and I like actually saw her in the series, I was like, okay, I get why she's in the series. I don't know what this does for the continuity of Star Wars and the Skywalker saga, but I'm down for Ahsoka.
Yeah. No, I think the backlash at first came, because she's young. She's only like 13, 14. And, I think at that point, people my age is mainly, I feel like, my generation. I don't think your generation, but it's basically my generation that was looking for something a little more just mature or more adult. Because you can clearly see the first season, especially of Clone Wars, was geared towards kids. And it eventually gets more mature, darker, and it goes into some issues that are a little bit more for older kids. But and that's where I think it started. That progression really started opening up the character of Ahsoka, and people started understanding a little bit more about her and liking her more. And so it took some time, but in the end, I mean, God, it'd be hard pressed to find anybody that doesn't like Ahsoka right now.
Yeah. Seriously.
So I agree with you. I think there was definitely some thought about that with Anakin. Like, how can you give him a Padawan? But it just makes complete sense now, especially, it adds to his frustration with the Jedi, right? Because of the circumstances of how she left.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I think that was so influential in his story. And I think it was not only because he was angry at the Jedi about how they handled the situation. Because he always believed Ahsoka. He always stood by her side.
Yes.
But I think part of it was her leaving broke his heart. It wasn't that he was just disappointed in the Jedi. He was disappointed, dare I say, in Ahsoka. And disappointed in himself, too. Because he felt like he failed. I mean, his apprentice left the Jedi Order. And yes, it wasn't necessarily his fault. But of course he feels some responsibility because it's very, very clearly stated in the books that there is a force bond between a Padawan and Master.
Yes.
There is. There's a very strong connection. So I feel like he naturally would have felt like he was a failure, and that's just one more domino in the sequence.
Yeah. No, and then of course, as he's talking, he mentions for the first time in live action. Do you remember the name he mentions?
What?
He mentions the people that Ahsoka has confronted. Do you remember that part? And it's the first time we hear this name in live action. You remember?
No.
Yeah, he says, here, I'll play it right here, and I'll tell you word for word what he says, because this is pretty. He says, hold on, I'm reading the captions here. He says, in this war, you will face more than just droids. General Grievous, Asajj Ventress, even Count Dooku.
That's right.
Yeah, so we finally get the mention of Asajj Ventress.
I forgot how significant that is.
Right? Yeah. I mean, again, no one, if you just watch, live action, you have no idea who this character is.
She's a fantastic character.
Fantastic. One of my favorites.
I love her.
Yes. So upset that they didn't make those episodes and the Dark Disciple episodes. Anyway.
Well, maybe live action.
Maybe live action. That would be the one to do, to be honest.
What
Yes,
if
that
they
would be
did
the one to
Clone
do.
Wars anthologies and it's just all the stories that they didn't get to do?
God, people would go crazy. Would go crazy.
That would be so good.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Thrawn, because I know you got some stuff you wanted to talk about. What about Thrawn in this episode? What do you think?
This is nothing against the actor. I think
no, of course not. Yeah.
Like I think he's doing a great job. I love hearing Thrawn's voice, and I know some people. First off, if you're fat shaming him, shame on you, is all I've got to say. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I know that there are some other people out there pointing out that I think it was in the EU where we learned that the Chiss have like a very high metabolism and therefore they always look fit, yada, yada, yada. Well, guess what? EO doesn't exist anymore. We're in a different universe. So get over it. Build a bridge and get over it. That being said, I don't have a problem with the portrayal of Thrawn. And I think Thrawn's voice is such an important part of his character. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with the visuals either. What I have a disagreement with, I'll put it that way, is the story that they're telling through Thrawn. Mm-hmm. Thrawn, in the books and also in Rebels, we see that he is an absolute mastermind. He's 5 steps ahead of everybody else. Like, to the point that you as the reader are like, how the heck did you see that coming? Like, it's like you... I've even gone back and like re-listened and I've reread parts, like trying to figure out, are there any hints? Is there anything I missed? So it's literally, it's mind boggling. And that's what makes him so terrifying and also so like amazing as a character. And in Thrawn Ascendancy, which shameless plug, tune into YouTube in a little bit. We'll have that video posted of Thrawn Ascendancy, Chaos Rising. Yeah. But in that book, we learned that Thrawn does make a major mistake. Everybody's referencing it. And it's a mistake that's like a 1 in a million chance of actually happening. So I just can't help but look at that. And then look at the mistake that he made with Balin. Or the miscalculation. Not a mistake, a miscalculation. And I'm like, there's no way Thrawn would have missed that. There's no way, unless he's that off of his game because he was isolated for that long. Right. There's no way he would miss. So like, I think that's just what's making me have this huge disconnect with this episode, is that I can't disassociate the two. You know?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like,
yeah, I think that threw me off a little bit too, the fact that he missed that. No, but I agree with everything you said. I think that's surprising right now. You would think that it would, this being his first live action appearance, that you would come out swinging with him and kind of establish who he is right away and how he does things. And I mean, you're kind of seeing that, but you're not seeing, like, like you said, he just doesn't make mistakes.
He doesn't. And even the whole thing where he's like, oh yes, we'll definitely, we'll let you know where Ezra is. And then a little later, he's like, we never said that they would come back alive. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, yeah, duh. Like, come on, Thrawn, you're better than this. And I honestly think that could have easily been changed. I even think you could have kept the same script. But if he instead gave the tone of like, We're missing one. Where's Bayless? Yeah, we're retreating. Like, just the fact that he already knew that that was in the cards and he knew he would retreat, but he used Bayless as a way to buy him time to get all that cargo on the ship. Like, even if the tone was changed, if the subtext was changed, where he was like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. None of you saw this coming, but I saw this coming.
Exactly. And that's what he would have done. Yes.
That is what he would have done. So once again, nothing against the actor.
No.
It's the story that I'm just like, Thrawn doesn't make those sloppy mistakes. He just doesn't.
That's right. Now, for me, I think I've kind of put my finger on what just the slight issue I have with Thrawn, and agree with you. Like, it's not about his it's not about the portrayal. It's not about, I mean, obviously his voice acting is perfect. But for me, when I'm looking at a still shot of him right now in the episode, and I think for me what it is Thrawn is a chiss.
Mm-hmm.
He's not human, right? I guess you would call him humanoid in a sense, but he's not human. He's a different race.
Yeah.
Of species. And when I look at him like he is, he kind of looks just like a human.
He does look like a human with blue skin and red eyes.
Yeah. And it's just very slight changes that could have been made. And one particular one, like if you see how Thrawn is drawn or, illustrated in the books and the comics, like one thing is his eyebrows are like straight.
They are, which is very unsettling.
But this one, they're normal like humans. They're just curved.
Mm-hmm.
The hair could have been just slightly made differently just to make it look like an alien's hair, right? So
you could have
little things like that.
Prosthetics like they did with, what's her name? Angelina Jolie as Maleficent. Just prosthetics on the cheekbones to make them a little sharper.
Right. So I think it's just a couple of things like that would have gone, I feel like, a long way in establishing that he is a chiss species that we have not seen in live action before, and this is kind of what they are. And so I'm going to look at I mean there are different, I get it. There are people might be saying right now, well, there's different animated versions of him, and yes, you're right. His eyebrows aren't always that straight. I mean, some of the images they're straighter, but he always has kind of this just kind of crinkled look in his his brow.
It's always this pensive, focused look.
Yeah. And you're right. I think they could have done a little bit more to kind of insinuate some excuse me, some parts of his face that would have again made him look like an alien than a human.
He needed to look more alien because the Chiss are aliens. They are. Just
so
like
that's it. That's the only thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just like Hera looks like a completely different alien species, so does Ahsoka. The Chiss are supposed to be different.
Exactly. And I think that's where, in my mind, it comes down to because of that, I see the presence of a Chiss isn't necessarily there for me. You know what I mean? Like like when you hear him in an audiobook, even when he's talking and how people respond, like you just in an audiobook, you can feel the presence of Thrawn and the command that he demands.
So that actually brings up a question. If his entrance was different, if his reveal was different, like we discussed before, where they're in a room, they're talking, they're waiting, all of a sudden we hear a voice, turn around, he's there. Do you think that would have played into a different, like, do you think if he kept the same appearance, just that introduction and that sudden appearance of him, do you think that would have shifted your whole perspective?
I mean, I think that would have been better, but I think in the long run, I think it still wouldn't have. I still would see. I mean, I think the Hera example is perfect. Like, when I see Hera, I don't see Mary Elizabeth. I see Hera. And I see a Twi'lek.
You don't see Ewan McGregor's wife?
Correct. I don't see Mrs. McGregor. But when I see Thrawn, I mean, I first see Mars. I see Lars Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
And I see a human. I don't necessarily see a Chiss. So that's that. And that's just me. Again, it's nothing to do with the performance. I'm totally buying the fact that he's Thrawn. I just think I don't know. I just think the look could have been a little bit better, a little bit more. And all we see, obviously, I mean, he's got the outfit right. All we're talking about is his face.
Yes.
So anyway, so that's Thrawn. Let's shift over to Balin.
Ah, yes.
And what's going on with Balin here? Because this was kind of odd, him separating from his Padawan, his apprentice. What do you think? I mean, you got any idea of what you think he's doing on this planet?
No. I mean, I saw that fan theory. Well, I don't even know if you can call it a fan theory, but I saw a theory out there that on his wristband is a hit list. And like C-3PO's on there, R2-D2's on there, Leia, Han, Luke, Chewie. And the fact that it's Chewie too. Yeah, and Ben. But the fact that it's Chewie too makes, like, I wonder if that was just an Easter egg for diehard fans.
I think so.
Just listen, guys. Remember, Marok is just Marok. Like,
yeah.
So agreed. It's just, I think it's just an Easter egg. But I don't know what the heck he's doing. In the beginning, I was like, okay, this guy could be a very interesting villain for the series. But now I'm like, what are you doing? What is your purpose? What? So I don't know if you've heard anything or seen anything, because I'm just lost. I'm lost. Between him and Shin, I'm just straight up lost.
Yeah, the Shin, I think, I don't think there's that much mystery with Shin, to be honest. Like, she's just an apprentice, and she's kind of been following his lead. So to me, she's been acting really in a very kind of linear path, right? And
okay,
I don't think there's a lot there with her, unfortunately. I think she's a great character. I just don't think there's a lot of mystery there. All the mystery is centered around him. And you can tell that she's been kept out of that mystery. Like, she has no idea what's going on, right? It'd be one thing that she understands what he's doing, but you can see the look on her face sometimes, like, what are you talking about? Like, what are we doing here? So anyway, so there's a couple things out there. I don't know what to believe, because I was not as well vested into everybody knows the show. I haven't been nearly as vested in the old EU as I am obviously now with the current canon. Like, I didn't read all the books and stuff like that. Now, and I read the original EU Thrawn trilogy one time a long time ago, so my memory of it is very shattered. But apparently one of the things is there was a character, which, see, here's the thing, is I don't really remember this character that much, but there was a character in those books called Joris C'baoth, which he was the kind of the lead villain. I mean, I mean, I remember him a little bit, but I just don't remember. I remember Thrawn more so. But apparently, the character, so this Joruus that was in the book was a clone of the original, and he was a dark Jedi. Ended up being a dark Jedi, right?
Okay.
Determined to kind of get Luke and Leia under his control, as well as Mara Jade. So that's part of that book. So there's people claiming that possibly he, as in Baylan Skoll, is Baylan possibly a clone of Baylan? Like he's the clone of the actual original Baylan somehow. So that's one theory that's out there. I think that's getting a little too complicated, but
not even just complicated. Could we please stop with the clones? Could we please? No.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Like, the Palpatine clone thing is already hard to swallow. Like, come on.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. I feel like that's now like the go-to theory of everyone. He's a clone. He's a clone.
And that's why. Did you notice? I was reading this now. Do you notice that? And I still didn't notice it when I watched it this episode. But on his belt, his buckle, like his front of his belt, there's actually a kyber crystal there.
No.
So that's why people were kind of saying, well, maybe that's from the original Baylan's lightsaber. And so, anyway, I don't know if that's true or not. But here's the thing: is basically what's then? Okay, so if he's a clone or whatever, that's a theory. But what is he doing at this planet? What is he doing on Pretoria? Is that what it's called?
I think so. But I mean, okay, let's ask the main question too. What is he doing in general? Like, I know he's saying he's trying to rebuild, but
right.
Like,
and he keeps saying that something is calling him, right? Yeah. So what is calling him? Why is he there? Another theory out there, which this one I actually could possibly get on board with.
Okay.
Peridia is the place they're at, the planet. But whatever it is that he's going towards, this theory is possibly saying that. Now remember, we got told that there's 3 movies coming out.
Yeah.
Filoni's New Republic.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Rey coming back in the New Jedi Order, and then you've got Dawn of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there's rumors going around that this could connect to Dawn of the Jedi.
Okay.
Because it's possible that maybe Peridia is actually the first planet that the Force was discovered on.
Okay.
Now that is interesting to me. Now, is it weird that it's in a different galaxy? Maybe. But we know the Force exists there because we saw Ezra using it.
And the thing is, too, is that doesn't surprise me either because I won't give too much away, but in the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy, we see that the Jedi and the Sith in the past, like we're talking Old Republic era, interacted with the Chiss.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't surprise me that and especially since we have Night Sisters out there too. Like,
true.
That would make sense.
Yeah, there's definitely a dark, not dark, even dark. There's definitely a strong presence there. Having the Night Sisters there, having some whatever voice or entity that's calling Baylan there.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be interesting to see, to see some connection that eventually gets fully flushed out in Dawn of the Jedi, because maybe that's what it is. Maybe Peridia is in Dawn of the Jedi, and we see the early parts of this. Because I mean, you can just imagine the stuff that's there, how ancient it is. So as much as I am excited to see what happens with Thrawn and Ahsoka and all that stuff, I'm actually a lot more interested right now in what the heck Balin's doing and what he finds. Because he's not, as you can see from this episode, he's going away from all this conflict. Like, he's not even part of this stuff anymore. So wherever he's going, I'm very interested. I'm thinking, what the heck are we going to see from there?
If we're going to see anything.
I think we are. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Balin is going to die.
How are they going to wrap everything up in one episode, though? Because I feel like there should have been some closure, unless the next episode is going to be an hour and a half long. I don't know how they're going to.
I did hear a rumor that it was pretty long, but I don't know how long.
Okay, so maybe they will close up. But otherwise, I'm like, anyway. Yeah.
I mean, the only way that they can come back is to hitch a ride on the Star Destroyer. So, unless they go find a Purgle somehow, but
or
what?
Are we moving on to the next topic?
Sure. What's the next topic? I don't even know what the next topic is.
So there's a theory.
Predictions or something?
There's a theory I saw on social media today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a huge fan of it.
Oh, okay.
So I think in the games, Cal does travel into the unknown. I think he does. But here's the point I'm getting at. It's very clear that in order to get to this place, you needed a Night Sister. Morgan's a Night Sister.
Oh, yeah.
So what if we don't get Cal? What if we get Mirren?
Mirren. But so where would we get Mirren? On this planet?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because she's a Night Sister.
She definitely
knows a powerful Jedi. What if she and Cal are how they get off this planet?
So you saw that as a theory?
I saw that as a theory where someone's like, what if Mirren is the key? And I am 1,000,000% for this.
Behind that? Yeah, that's actually that's interesting. That would be pretty incredible to tie that in together. I mean, it wouldn't be odd, just because, lots of parts of this series has been very reminiscent and resemblance, that has a resemblance to the games.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Right. And the fact that, again, like you said, the bringing in Night Sisters and Dathomir and things like that was very prevalent in the games. It has been pretty neat to see. So yeah, no, I'm cool with that. I'd love to see live action Cal Kestis.
Yeah. Like that would be really, really cool. And maybe that's the cliffhanger we get, is we see a live action Mirren and or a live action Cal.
That would,
like, come on.
That would set the internet on fire. Yeah, for sure.
Come on.
Definitely would. Absolutely. Yep.
So, anyway, so to answer your question, I think that's how they get off the planet.
Yep. Okay.
Or at least the seed planted of how they get off the planet.
Because I don't
think they're going to leave. I don't think Ahsoka, Sabine, or Ezra are going to leave the planet by the end of this season.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I agree with that. I think that's right. Do you think Thrawn, though? Do you think Thrawn leaves?
I think Thrawn leaves. Because you got to have high stakes, right? You got to end it on a cliffhanger. You got to have high stakes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Thrawn leaves, but I think they're there and they're like, well, what do we do now? And then we get Mirren
Yeah.
and Cal. I don't know. Like that would be so cool.
That would be pretty neat. Yes, I agree with you. Okay, so what else? Anything else?
I mean, can we
Ezra.
talk about how Ezra without a lightsaber is amazing?
Amazing. Yeah.
Like, can we talk about how he was like, no, I don't need a saber. I gave it to you. And then he just showed, like, you don't need a saber to fight.
I know. That was pretty incredible. Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
And then we can also talk about how Rosario is amazing with Ahsoka because now we don't have stick up the butt Ahsoka. We have
You said you have Snips back, right?
we got Snips. We have Snips.
Yeah, I guess Snips. No, great. I'll keep saying great casting. Ezra is feels like Ezra. I mean, he does feel like Ezra. The way he talks, the way he moves. Although what?
I saw on social. Have you seen Prince of Egypt, the DreamWorks animated movie?
Oh gosh, a long time ago. Yeah.
So a lot of people are saying, "Hey, it's Moses," and they have a picture of Ezra next to Moses, and I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. I'm like, it's Star Wars Moses.
I can see that for sure. Yeah, I'm curious if they're gonna at some point clean him up and cut his hair.
But okay, so this is where some of the confusion lies. Earlier we were talking about Thrawn and how like it's the little details that would help make him more alien. They paid attention to the little details of Ezra to the point that his eyes are blue.
Yes.
They didn't Daniel Radcliffe Harry Potter it where they were like, "Oh, we're just going to ignore the fact that Harry actually has green eyes and we're just going to say, oh, you have eyes like Lily instead of like you're actually green eyes." No, they gave him blue eyes.
Yes.
Like that's attention to detail. So
they gave him the 2 scratches on his face. Too.
So I don't know where the disconnect is, but anyway.
Agreed.
Zach and I went nuts when we saw his blue eyes.
Yes. No, he looks great. He acted like Ezra did, so that whole conversation that him and Sabine had and Ryden, I thought was very good. And
yeah,
it really played back to them time in Rebels.
Oh, hang on. We could talk. We could talk. I'm like, there's Ezra.
Yeah. I know, right? Yes. No, hopefully we can get him wielding a lightsaber again, though. That would be pretty awesome to see.
I was kind of hoping there was a moment where Sabine was in trouble, so he had to quickly force pull the lightsaber in.
Yes, that would have been awesome.
Oh well.
Maybe we'll get it. All right, so chapter 8 coming next week, the finale to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So without seeing the finale yet, I mean, where's this series actually ranking for you right now?
It's in the middle. There were some great highs. There are some lows. I feel like the more that I've had to digest it, the more I'm like, yeah, that episode with Anakin and Ahsoka is fantastic. It's just a fantastic episode. But I don't know. Like I honestly can't put my finger on it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to until after the finale.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure we will.
It's in the middle for me currently. I don't know why, but that's where my gut is right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, it's really hard for me because, the thing about it is we only have one season of work versus 3 seasons of Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's true.
But here's the thing. What's weird is that with this series, with Andor, And with Obi-Wan, I mean, dare I say, like, I don't know. I would.
Are you gonna put this over Obi-Wan?
Um.
Because I feel like Obi-Wan has been your favorite thus far.
Well, actually, Obi-Wan has been my favorite. I still believe right now, overall series, I think Andor has been the best.
I would say Andor has been the best, and Mandalorian season 1 is
Is
tied
your
up there
favorite?
with it.
Oh, what's been your favorite though? Like
Andor.
Andor's been your favorite as well. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love Andor. I think it's the best series so far. But Obi-Wan, I really like. Obi-Wan's been my favorite just because of little Leia and Anakin coming. Anakin and Hayden playing Vader. Like, I just think that's been phenomenal. And of
It's the
course,
nostalgia.
Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan is just phenomenal. I mean, it's just like Hayden. Like, he's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
Anyway, so I would, depending on how this thing finishes out, like you said, this could end up being my favorite. It
Yeah.
could be.
I think this next episode is going to help determine where it rests for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's up there right now for me. Let's see. Thrawn Attic on our last episode said, great review. I agree with you, Hannah. Heavy Rain was an awesome game.
Yes.
And if people who made that game are making Eclipse, let's give them time to make it great. We will have Outlaws to keep us busy in the meantime.
Yes.
I already posted most of my thoughts on Patreon, but again, really enjoyed this episode, and hopefully everyone's concerns for the episode get answered in the next 2 episodes, like what Ezra and Thrawn have been doing for 10 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait to see Sabine explain to Ezra how she got there, because that did annoy when he asked her at the end of the episode, and that she said she will talk about it later. I was thinking, no, tell him it's a pretty big deal, and she has risked the entire galaxy. Thrawn's appearance comments have been making me laugh. I did think the same, but feel it's more important to get the actor that can give a great performance rather than just a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the actor Lars looks quite terrifying. I don't know how Disney would have told him he needs to slim down for the role. And he's got a funny laughing emoji. Thanks again, and may the force be with you. So yeah, I mean, no, Lars does, yeah, just as Lars, he definitely looks intimidating as far
absolutely.
as a human goes, But like we said earlier, it's like he's playing a chess.
Yeah, it's
yeah. But yeah, there's there. I think we already read the comments on part 6. I think we already read those, right? Did I read those?
Pretty sure you did.
Yeah, I think I did on the last episode. So, all right. Anything else?
I think that's
Hannah?
everything. That's everything for now. I'm sure we'll have a lot more to say during the finale, since we'll actually have more time to kind of digest it.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
We shall.
Let's see how this ends.
Let's see how it ends. Okay. Everybody, finale next week. Unfortunately, I am making my travels to Batu and be hanging out at Galaxy's Edge. They're at Black Spire Outpost next week, so I will not be in. So we will do our episode a little later when I get back. Give everybody some time to digest the finale, and send us your comments on it. We'll do, for those of you that are our patrons, which we love and really appreciate you guys supporting us. We will still individually probably put up some reaction videos from the finale.
Mm-hmm.
So those will be on Patreon for you guys to watch. But we'll be putting out our full review, obviously, here on the show, Inside the Force, later that weekend, to get you guys our thoughts and and I'll probably watch it. I'm definitely gonna be watching it like on the plane coming back, and I'll probably watch it a couple times throughout the week. If it's that good.
Oh, if it's not that good, like I'm not
Yeah,
even going to
that's gonna
put
be
that out
tough.
there.
No, I'm not either.
And
I'm
I'm
not
not.
either.
No.
In Filoni, I trust. Right? In Filoni, I trust.
Is that a new
So
T-shirt in Filoni? I try.
actually, I will probably make that T-shirt. Yeah, I will probably make that T-shirt. Speaking of, we do
Oh,
have
yeah.
shirts that are from our shop. I finally got some samples to try on and stuff like that. So and Hannah's got it on too. Yeah. So we got some more designs we're actually talking about doing. So in Filoni, I trust. Actually, I think I'm gonna make a shirt.
Yeah,
I
do that.
definitely gotta make that. I definitely gotta make that.
You make that one. I'll make Maroc is just Maroc.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. That's actually really good too. Yeah. It should be Maroc. It's just Maroc with like this green haze.
Yes.
Like
exactly what I was thinking. Oh,
yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Well, we'll do that for everybody. All right. Thanks, Hannah. As always.
Thank you, Dave. As always.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Go enjoy the finale of Ahsoka, and we'll be here next time talking about it. Take care. Have a great week. See you next time. May the Force be with you.